Can you tell
I'll
Angela?
talk about
to
it
start?
later.
Angela, will you
Angela,
start?
let's get rolling.
You guys are good.
All right, so Rudy gets here, I guess I'll take over for now. We have four, so we call the order. Roll call, it's going to take Stephen Herzberg.
Just Poland.
Angelo Garcia.
Eladio Jose Ernesto.
I think that's French, let's go right outside the door. And then Rudy, I haven't spoken today, so.
Did Rudy say he wasn't coming?
He did, so usually he would tell us if he wasn't.
Yeah.
Tell him something. Over speaking. Order of business, anyone have any additions or like moving in the order of business? Okay, now we can see.
Are you guys?
No, there you are. You want to take over?
Yeah, I am.
We're at the public.
Public comments. Is anybody else?
We do have this year.
No. No, goodness me.
If we're business, maybe, yeah. Public comment, anybody? Any public comment, anything?
Waiting for the session to start and.
Yeah.
we're going to this.
Adoption of minutes. I think we had the May minute, right?
Yeah, just the main minutes. I'll ask somebody else to. Do
Yeah, I
this.
think June.
Watch the June meeting.
Oh, there.
Minutes,
I don't check.
For the next meeting.
I'll task myself.
I don't think it was a minute.
And the main minutes are there for questions.
Anything in there at a point.
I think it's a month though.
No.
Is this for the last, the minutes for the last? No, that's the one for May. That's for May, about it. Oh. So right there,
That's the
May.
one for May.
The one for
that's
May.
for May.
He has to do the one for June. He hasn't done the one for June yet.
Yeah, this was the May 24th.
So we're behind with this.
We're behind one
We're
month.
gonna have one more.
Okay.
This is the last 24th. This was, yeah, the May 24th meeting. That morning meeting, yeah.
So we said public comments, anything new? Anything new has happened? I mean, I haven't been
Calls
called
from-
lately, but
I've heard less blasts.
and that's what I wanna know.
I've seen less blasts. They're there.
Been out for 9 days,
But for-
I've been out of.
Very little blasts that I've seen. They're still there. And I called some out of homeowner and said, I got from Tanya, I said, a 90-year-old, she's been here since 67. And
That's really.
Tanya, she lives in 11435 Tabaluga Way, I think it's one of the old Tabaluga Way. Tabaluga, yeah. And she's told them since then.
Geez, that's that address that you just gave me, isn't the town of Miami Lakes? Interesting name.
Old.
Where is it?
Where Orchid is, where Orchid,
I know, where is this area?
I think it's the older man who lives there. In that area, keep going. He's got a report, he's gonna send me the report. But from anything else, I mean, from the politicians, I haven't heard anything. From the counties, on the day, from the cities, I haven't heard anything. That's the public comments. Any public comments? I don't think.
I don't know.
I don't think.
So if someone wants a
Motion,
motion,
we should
move
move
the
about
minutes.
the main. Anybody second?
Second.
Second, Francesca, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yes, we have, I know, anyway. No.
Esther?
No, it wasn't here.
You are here,
I'll- Yeah, well,
We did miss you.
I only missed a few.
Okay. I missed you sentimental. Motion granted. Minutes are adopted for May, for the pending June of 2024. Once. For the full business, meeting with the town attorney. We met with the town attorney, that was one of the, right here in this room, as a matter of fact, and they were looking at all the options. That was what I gathered from that meeting. And he didn't say much, it was just going into all the different,
Which of the two attorneys, if I may ask?
Corbieri, all of them were here.
Both of them.
All of them, okay, and even his partner, and even, met with, Raul, I guess that's his partner too, was here, and they were looking at all the possibilities, all the angles, exactly. About a approach and everything else. Who else was here? Esther, you were here too. You see that you were here. Steve, you were there too. And,
Yeah,
Pretty
so
myself was there.
it was a preliminary discussion, it
Yeah.
was a sunshine.
Correct.
meeting. One of the main concern was how do you file suit and the cost. Of course, them as a town attorney are thinking about cost. The one thing that you guys, you'll definitely wanna think about, because what they were looking at, and they'll come up with more details, you might wanna have another meeting with them. Is an issue of how do you get the standing, and their position is, this is Raul Lopez, this wasn't Raul Gastampi, it wasn't Lorenzo, it's Raul Lopez who came in,
no, it was another attorney who was.
who works for the firm.
Right.
His position is usually the way he sees it, at least with the cases he looked up, was that you sue, for example, something we don't want to do, but this is their position, is you would sue one of the mines in circuit court. It would, of course, they would file a motion to dismiss saying you can't sue here. And then you would fight that motion to dismiss with unconstitutionality of the statute and take that up to the third. Based off the ruling from the circuit court judge. Two
That's
concerns.
cool.
Right, so that is bringing in the mining industry, but it's still the purpose is, well, we want to have a right to sue them in circuit court. That is one way you keep it in date, by the way, because his position is that you do gotta go to Leon to sue
Right.
the state. Which keeping in date, I don't know, it might be good, might be bad, I don't know. That's not really too that important, but, it brings in the industry instead of just the state. Right?
Symbolically.
Not
Not in
symbolically, no, the defendant would be a mine,
Yes.
would be a mining
But
company.
the lawsuit is just pro forma. Pro forma, in other words, it's just for the act of it, because it would be dismissed.
It would be this, oh yeah, no, a circuit judge would most likely dismiss the case and then you'd have to appeal that dismissal.
Exactly.
Right. And.
Which would be
Is it
suing the
constitutionality of the
constitutionality,
It
which
should be
that's-
suing the constitutionality, but it would give the mining industry the right to defend the statute. not-
No, it wouldn't,
It would.
because the person sued is not the mining company at that point. They're out of the picture.
No, I don't know.
Mining company is out of the picture.
Okay, I mean, that's something we gotta speak with them.
Yeah.
'Cause that was one
Now,
of the
at that point, it
issues.
would be strictly the state of Florida.
Okay, I mean, if that's the way to get in, that's the way to get in, and that is.
So
the way
that'd
to
be a quicker way.
Keep it in circuit court too, I mean, keep it in,
Correct.
in Dade County.
In the county.
Okay, so I mean, I think one of if you have some more details on past cases,
Yeah.
that
Because
especially
at that
cases
point,
that were kept in
at
date.
that point, once you get kicked out of court, then you directly sue Ashley Moody.
Okay, so if you have details about cases that stayed in date, they want that, that's what they need. So if you share that with them, share that with us, the board, and then we'll share with them, that would be important.
Yeah.
Because that can give them a little bit more of a guidance on how to start and where to take, because the other thing they want to do, they discussed costs, was the comprehensive research memorandum to the council, which I assume would be given in executive session, about how to get this done right. And that's the type of thing they need, is to know how other people have done it. I know we've discussed cases in the past.
Correct.
Probably before you're on the board.
Yeah, so you don't have to reinvent the wheel.
Right, so if you, that would be really important to share. Because I know you have some ideas. on that. So let's get that to the town attorney.
But doesn't the town, I'm sorry to interrupt them through the chair, doesn't the town have damages? Yes, I'm sure that we have
No,
damages.
we're not saying we don't have damages. I mean, that's up to the town to determine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would assume we do. Sure.
That,
Our residents,
when you think
Well,
about
that's-
it, it's
that's not
it's
necessarily-
even irrelevant, because it would never become an issue.
Well, yeah, the case wouldn't be about damages.
The case would never be about
Initially.
damages.
Right, but I do think you have to, I mean, there might be a standing issue, I don't know, but I don't think the town would have a big issue finding.
You have to have a prima facie case that there are
Right.
damages.
And there is sidewalks, the
Yeah.
canal banks,
Yeah.
other infrastructure.
Fire station and.
I'm sure Roberto Alonso will have to,
I'm sure.
okay?
Yeah.
So the town, I don't think it's gonna be that difficult to find
All the damages.
straight, it's just the sidewalks is not, not, right? No, there's, all the sidewalks is the trees, it's not the blasting, okay, great. But that's for a judge or a jury to determine, not for just a,
Right.
for not
The
just.
case
a
would never be
face.
tried on damages, it would be
Right.
dismissed because of the statute.
As long as you have a prima facie case, a case that on its face, if you read it, is valid, if what you read is determined, can be determined as true. You get past the first step, so the town clearly has enough about that, then there's a difference between summary judgment and going to an actual trial. And the town probably gets past that step too, based off everything we know. So it's a case that 100% could go to a trial, and that's what the whole thing, that's what the whole issue is about, that you don't have the right to go in front of a judge or a jury. You can only go in front of some administrative law judge, and that's the whole thing, and that's what that case is about. So that was the discussion, they were supposed to talk about it a bit more at the council meeting last week, 2 weeks ago. They didn't, I don't believe they did discuss it much,
They
the
did not.
council
I
meeting
don't
was
think they
pretty
did, yeah.
long. The attorney's report was like 2 minutes at the end, so. We'll talk to them, I think it's important to talk to them and get them to bring it up at the August meeting. So that can start moving. But that's what we discussed at that meeting, I don't think there's anything else that is relevant. So a lot of that's crucial, I think that'll help a lot. You find that, I know there's one case in particular we discussed, but if you find those cases, share it with them, I think that'll help a lot. Because they need a little bit of a roadmap, and that provides a roadmap. For how to do it and how to do it here, I think.
Correct.
Okay. Moving right along, let's go to the, all of action items for the 2024 advisory opinion, municipality involvement. And 2025 lobbying efforts. I think that in the last meeting, there was resolutions for that. Am I right, Stephen?
I mean, I don't know.
I don't know, I wasn't here.
I was
not
watching
here.
it.
I was, I couldn't, wasn't here.
Wait, which one are you talking about? Oh, you're talking about
Yeah.
council meeting.
Council meeting.
It was
I
this,
know
it was.
Morena
I
brought it
watched
up, Brian brought it
Right, Brian brought it up, it was discussed and he made changes. To the
Yeah.
resolution to be more,
Specific
More
or more specific?
he refined it to be more specific. And you all saw the email. From the town regarding that they wanted us, and that's a new business item, so we can get to it then, but they wanted us to discuss, Brian did push for, the municipal workshop.
That's good.
We'll talk about that in business, but
Okay.
on municipality involved, the clerk is going to send out a resolution from the town council, I guess maybe over the next meeting. To those specific municipalities we discussed in the opinion. What also, I spoke to Councilman Garcia a few days ago. He is pushing to have the Florida League of Cities and Dade County
Yes.
League of Cities.
I talked to
involved
Raymond
as
on
well.
that too, yeah.
And he wants to even set up a specific date for members of the board to go and discuss the issue at a Florida League of Cities or the County League of Cities meeting. To actually inform them and educate them on the issue. Again, I watched the last meeting and I've always been saying this, I'm not that confident in other cities joining. Nobody has ever really stepped up yet. Why would they step up?
Like Miramar, for instance.
Yeah.
But I don't think we stopped the efforts.
Right.
It
Yeah.
still at least informs those people in those municipalities. And for Miramar, I think we gotta speak to those residents that spoke at the last meeting, at the meeting in May. We gotta speak to the Miramar board again and pressure them to get something in front of their council.
Yeah.
Commissioner over the Miramar. and just make it an issue, at least make them have an agenda item about it, right? And make those people go on record, like, no, want to stay out of it. I know they have well, I think one thing Lorenzo spoke about was they have a big fight now with, incinerator coming up.
Right.
And that's their focus, their legal department focus, I don't, and I understand that, but I still don't buy that, this has been an issue since Myanmar's are incorporated, so.
Let's be honest, Miramar was always up front and center, very vocal when the blasting started.
Yes. Oh,
They
were-
They don't allow
are
blasting.
huge.
It's,
They just taken the backstage, and let's be honest, Miami Lakers, nobody steps up here. So they, at the last meeting, you had more Miramar
Yeah.
than Miami Lakers, right? And they were always local, and their meetings used to be packed, 'cause I've attended them.
Yeah.
Until they, all of a sudden, they just said. It's done.
And they got tired.
Well,
They
because.
got unfolk. They got
you know,
unfolk.
well, they don't even allow
We also
blasting, and they're being
reason why-
affected by
It
blasting.
doesn't matter, that thing, well, that's the point.
Exactly.
They have an ordinance that doesn't
They have an
allow it, but it
ordinance.
happens.
Yeah.
You come on.
Technically in a better position than we.
Exactly, maybe in a better position than we are.
And they still get black.
And
And they, honestly, they probably get it worse.
Worse than us.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
those areas get it worse than us.
I know people in Nautica, everywhere. Well,
No, but that area
Just
is,
say, when you say Miramar, they were much more active than this town ever was. They took their money where their mouth was in the beginning,
right,
and they were for at least 3 years. All of a sudden, they took the back seat.
correct.
Ordinance and everything they still got. What does that tell you? So, you can't have Miramar fighting for Miami Lakes residents don't wanna fight for Miami. Lakes. That's just my opinion.
No, yeah,
You make it a-
I get that point, but Miramar residents fighting for Miramar and having their council get this thing back on their radar. That's the point.
They need to put their money where their mouth is, because Miami Lakes shouldn't be footing the bill for Miramar.
Agreed. So I think I spoke to, Patricia, who's on the Miramar board. And I told her, listen, we need you to get something together, not necessarily. It doesn't have to be one of their meetings, which I know they have quorum issues, just get something on a council agenda and get your residents to go, and I'm sure folks go as well.
Yep.
I put that on an agenda item, and I think that's the most important thing. There's other cities that are involved, but in reality, that's the most important municipality partner. And, that's something that needs to be done. And then I think the second most important partner would be Miami-Dade County, and get something more than what they did last year.
They're out there.
But did Miramar ever understand that the problem was the statute that protected the blasting?
Miramar's been doing this before Miami Lakes.
Yeah.
They've had the board longer, they made their own mediation process back in their late nineties, they've been at this issue. And that was before the change in the statute. Miramar was fighting this before, even when Dade County had control over the mines. The problem is, Dade County had control of the mines, not Broward, but Miramar was still being affected. So they've been in this for a very long time. It's just.
But
like you
they
said,
challenged the statute.
No, they never challenged, not that I'm aware of. And what they did, and not that I'm aware of, no, I never seen.
They just passed their own statutes, they don't blast it.
Well, that was in I think I was Broward County.
That's right.
They ignored the elephant in the room.
Yeah, yeah.
It has a big dollar sign.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. But Miramar is a town, is a city that surely has a lot more resources than Miami Lakes, it's a
Yeah.
larger city.
Right.
I've seen their tax bill doing closing for them, insane taxes.
It's insane taxes.
Very high taxes, but they have a legal department with
Yeah.
full-time on-staff attorneys. It's a completely different monster. Miramar's over 100,000 people. I forgot how many people live in Miramar. So they have more resources
Yeah,
than
yeah.
us.
Almost, more than triple the population.
Yeah, absolutely.
We do.
They have more resources than us. And to have them just help would be tremendous. And they should be helping, but for whatever reason, over the last few years, like Asher said, this issue has gone on the back burner. And the only way it ever will come back is if they get residents if we even have residents come to Miami Lakes, right? Hopefully we can get those same residents and more go to their own council meeting
Yeah,
and push it.
yeah, why don't we go to one of their?
We
councils?
can, we just need it
Let's
to be
go.
put on the
They
agenda.
haven't put it on an
They
agenda
haven't
yet,
put
that's
it on
what he's
agenda.
saying, that.
Do we need to put it on the
Oh,
agenda?
no, we can go speak at
Sure we
public
can.
comments.
Yeah, I've gone to meetings by myself. I took my gallery once with me just to show, look how it works.
I mean, we can go to public comments and speak about it.
When are we doing it?
It's fine next week.
Well, before that, we can we can draft a letter to the Miramar
What?
City Council.
Well, that's part of the
telling
whole,
them that we've identified the Achilles heel.
It's a good idea.
that's part of the whole resolution too.
Well, the resolution will go
Right.
to Miramar, but I like that
Right.
idea. When we're talking to other municipalities, I think we have to get council approval.
Yeah.
And sometimes it comes from like the mayor's office or whatever. Maybe it makes sense to come from us. But I think we still would need council approval. That's a good idea, though. I like that idea.
You know, we would need council for that.
Yeah, to speak to the municipality.
That's who we work with.
But I like that idea. I mean, I would make a motion that you start working on a letter. Doesn't necessarily have to only be to Miramar, but it makes sense to.
To what, to
focus
other
it-
municipalities.
municipalities.
It could be generic enough to where we could adopt it, so like, today we use it for Miramar, but a couple weeks from now we use it. to-
Well, I
I
would,
think there's one of.
I would make Miramar, I mean, agreed, you can always change it, but Miramar should be. Hey,
Right.
Miramar, you've been fighting this for so long, you know, et cetera, you have your board, this is what we're doing, come join our efforts. And we're sort of doing that with the resolution, but I think a second follow-up like that would make sense. So maybe something that would be sent right after the resolution is delivered.
Mhm.
That would be set, that would make a lot of sense. So I would, that's a great idea. To do that.
The council did say that they were gonna send letters to the surrounding municipalities, including Florida League, Dayton League.
Right,
Yes.
Okay, they
Yeah.
did say that
Yeah.
last meeting.
Yeah, resolution letter, I mean, they're sending it to those specific municipalities and organizations that we noted
in the opinion.
Opinion.
Say nine of them.
But I think a follow-up like that, makes a lot of sense. Say, okay, hey, you received a resolution from the town council, this is what we're doing. Help come on board, try to get relief for your residents. I would motion that your idea is great, and I would motion you start preparing that letter for Miramar, and then of course we could
Repurpose.
repurpose it as needed.
Obviously, the more plaintiffs,
That helps.
it will help.
It helps and from just looking at it from the dynamic of how strong the case is when the judge sees it, to the cost and the practical side of it. Helps a lot, yeah.
And of course, if Florida doesn't defend the statute,
Correct.
it doesn't matter how a judge sees it.
Correct, and I don't know, we discussed that too before. I don't know what state would do,
I don't think they would defend it.
maybe you're right,
Not with their.
and that'd be great, and that'd be good. And we can, it would, again, what we're trying to do is we're not gonna stop the blasting, right? We're just providing a resource that now they have to be more responsible in their actions, or else they can be held responsible in court instead of this.
Yeah, because the problem has never been, in my humble opinion, stopping the blasting.
No.
It's making them accountable for whatever they do damage.
Or even to do it within the limits, but it should be done.
Yeah, I mean, they gotta be responsible. They gotta be responsible neighbors, and they're not, and if they're not responsible, they should be held accountable. Unfortunately, they have this almost quasi immunity that makes it very
Right.
difficult to hold them accountable, unlike any other industry. And-
Some would say impunity, not immunity.
Yeah. I guess you're right. So,
I know you were making a motion.
yeah, I mean, I think that's, I don't know if you're okay with that, and if someone wants to second that, I think it's important that, that gets going. It's gonna take some time to get approval from the council, so the quicker you get something done, the quicker then you could, get that in front of them.
Get this ball of wax rolling.
Do you wanna get a vote?
Okay, so with the motion.
Yeah.
So,
Uh,
for letter.
yeah, motion for the
Or
letter,
letter.
that letter primarily for Miramar, and of course, then it could be tailored, as needed.
I second it. Steven?
Yeah.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It passes. Thank you. Here we go to 2025 lobbying efforts.
sorry.
Oh, no,
before
go
we
ahead,
move on,
no, go ahead, Fonseca, go ahead.
Because the last meeting, we discussed doing some type of letter communication in a formal way to Moody and. It was your idea, to Moody and someone else in the governor's
The
office,
Attorney General.
the attorney general, right? So I never saw anything from Iowa. I don't know if it's because you didn't get it or what, if that was worked on or not.
Like a memo or something. You're gonna be fair.
You're gonna have to.
No,
Okay.
that's what I mean, like, I didn't see anything from you, so I'm assuming it's because it wasn't put together.
That's why I'm asking. I don't even know which.
Yeah, last meeting,
But-
it was motion for. Wasn't it?
Memo from Eladio.
Right,
Yeah, memo from Eladio.
and it was to communicate,
With the
So-
governor's office or the Attorney General.
right, which is something that we had never done before.
Correct.
Okay,
But that would be something that would, need to happen after the lawsuit, at least, has. been
Or whatever the attorneys decide,
Because
you know.
the letter
That's what
to
he's
the Attorney General and the Governor would be basically asking them to agree with the lawsuit.
To, like you discussed before, not,
Thank
not defend the statute because the statute is against consumers.
Right. That would be,
Like
that
a lobby,
would be the purpose, the
like
objective,
like a lobbying effort to
yeah.
the AG's office and governor's office, who would then make the determination whether or not to even defend the case.
so you're saying we would need to do this prior to that? Sorry, I'm
Yes.
not an attorney, so
Yes.
you guys gotta kind of.
You file the suit first, because there's
Okay.
nothing for them, there's nothing
Yeah, we
allowing
talked
them
to
to
the
do.
Or even, you can send it in anticipation of the lawsuit by saying, you know,
Right,
hey, this is gonna happen, this is gonna be
Right.
filed. And when it does, you know, you need to be aware of these points.
right, but I think it's too early to do that.
It's too early right now.
The town's actually committed on, or whoever exactly.
And we gotta see what the attorneys come up.
Once
Yeah.
the wheels are in motion,
Once the
then
wheels-
it is appropriate.
Right.
Yes.
Right now, there's no purpose of sending a letter.
Right, okay, I got
The
you.
first letter would be
The memo,
the Miramar.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Moving right along, 2025 lobbying efforts.
Yeah, I'm just, I'm just gonna, I'm gonna say that, I'm gonna talk about 7A as well at the same time.
Well, I was gonna say that, mix it together, mix them
Uh,
together as it is with Tom.
Yeah, so
And funny out of that.
a few weeks ago, I spoke with a representative about his ideas for legislation, and one of the ideas he has, and told me it's fine to share, is not necessarily about the regulation issue, but about the damages. And I remember having a discussion right after the workshop and how the mining industry's position, and it's a little bit of few CFO as well, is that this industry is so crucial to the state of Florida that you can't touch it. This, you can't touch it. It's construction of homes and this. I remember the guy specifically said it's like motherhood and apple pie. The former secretary of that. And then I told him, well, our homes are important too. And so his position was saying, well, he's looking at opportunity, possibility of legislation that if this is so important, it's like a state function, then the state should be responsible for paying for the damages to our homes. And that's the legislation he's looking at as well. I don't know if Alicia.
It's a relief bill.
Right, it's so different about-
Which legislator is it?
Representative Alicia.
That's not very conservative, I think. I mean, the taxpayers foot the bill for the damage caused by other people.
Right. Listen,
Very
he's trying to
conservative, yes.
repeal, he's trying to
Very
repeal,
fiscally conservative.
he's trying to repeal the bill, he's trying to lower regulations.
Yeah.
And, we all know the bills haven't gone anywhere.
And it won't.
Exactly, and whether this bill goes anywhere or not is a different question. But that is an idea he has. It's also an idea that, Senator Garcia discussed before as well. Personally, it would make sense to put a tax on the mines and make them pay for the funds that go into those,
Reparation goes.
yeah, something.
A developer fee or.
Their activities are causing the damage,
One of those,
and we want to just go straight to the
impact
mine.
fee or one of those, something like that.
Yeah.
But obviously, nothing has been pushing forward. I haven't discussed in detail whether or not he will continue with the other bills that we've done specifically, like last time, the detailed regulation limiting the blast within 1 mile residential areas, which makes a lot of sense. I mean, every single person on that committee that we spoke to, other than the chair, was, oh yes, that makes sense. Republican or Democrat, didn't matter. They all were for the bill. But they don't get to decide whether the bill gets hurt. So, hopefully he'll continue with that effort as well. But that's what he discussed, and that's why I know there's been a lot of,
What he could do is to join the effort to get the Attorney General and the Governor not to defend
Yeah.
the statute.
yeah,
That's where all of these representatives that have told us that they agree with us
mhm,
can be of help.
that's true. That's a good idea as well. Again, also, once someone actually, the plan gets moving forward,
But have them put their money where their mouth is.
yeah, that's a good idea. I believe there are multiple ones that would, do that.
I believe so also.
Yeah. And I'm happy, I mean,
When you speak candidly like you speak. Because you're very candid in speaking, some of the speakers are very political speaking, and there's a big difference.
There is,
Thank you for being.
that's right.
but, you're right, that's a good idea as well, and I think they would, I would hope they would.
Yeah, I mean, they have no excuse.
No, we've gotten the road. Representative Manning told us he was for the bill.
Yep.
Representative Valdez told us she was for the bill. Those are the two just off the top of my head, obviously, Representative Resources on bill. So yeah, those are, every person that we've spoken to that says the bill makes sense. Multiple representatives down here. Have stated, multiple senators down
State
here.
Innovation Center, Honolulu is Vicky Gendon, but everybody.
So if that moves forward, then you're right. That's.
And you know, when you said that, he said that the mining industry was essential to the state.
Not him, but that's our representative research state.
Okay.
That's what they were stating.
I
That's what
heard
they,
somebody coming in and saying,
That's-
oh,
yeah.
hospitals are
that's-
essential to the
that's
state.
the feeling.
They shouldn't be able to get sued.
But that's correct, and they shouldn't be, but that's what the mining industry is trying to make themselves look like. Right, if you watch the workshop, that's what they're telling us. They're telling us if you change the way we mine, it will be an economic disaster. And unfortunately, the Florida legislator have agreed with them for the most part, at least enough that you can't get any movement on the bills. So you gotta think outside the box. Yeah. You
You gotta
gotta,
destroy everybody's houses and destroy all the buildings around you.
listen, we're all. on the same
Trucking industry
side.
is essential to the state.
They all
That's
that's
right.
exactly your point. They all get sued in court. So
They
why
all
should
get
they
sued in
not
court.
get sued in court?
Yeah.
I agree. That's exactly the point. I mean, we all,
I mean, the absurdity that some people can come up with. It's incredible.
that's, right, and that is, but that's what the mining industry believes they are. And it is an important industry, don't get us wrong, no one's telling us to stop.
Now, they don't have a monopoly on importance.
Agree.
There you go.
So we need to, you just added a legislative effort, right? So I remember last meeting, I watched it, there was some discussion on, oh, we're wasting our time. We're not. Because even if we're not up there doing bills, if the lawsuit's filed, you guys gotta go up there and telling these legislators to get the ear of the AG and the government, right? To let this go.
You know, we could do that by visiting their local offices.
Oh, you can visit local offices here, you can't visit Valdez from Tampa up there, or Manny from the Panhandle up there, in his local office, that's why. These are-
Cheaper than going to Tallahassee.
Might be.
Yeah, but there'll be more trips.
Yeah, we need more trip, you gotta
So
go
you'll-
some.
you'll spend it
speak to them,
somewhere.
yeah.
But let's give
Very right.
snail mail a chance to work.
Yeah, listen, that works too, but, to an extent, there's a big difference between,
Oh, there is.
Personal.
There is a difference.
especially some of them. Valdez, we didn't have a meeting with her,
Yeah.
we just met her in the hallway,
Correct.
and then we had a
I
25.
think we need to get the ear of the Speaker of the House.
100%, he's, down the street now.
So let's get that. Cause his
Danny Burns.
his
from South Miami.
support,
He's a Dave, from Miami Dade.
right, so his support is gonna be critical.
Of course.
Oh,
And then we don't need to visit the 119 others.
No, if you get his support, then, you know, you have a lot of power to get things through.
Exactly.
Whether or not we can actually, we could only get a meeting with his aide. Obviously, he's a very difficult guy to meet with, but we should continue to push, and we can push that for a meeting down here. You don't have to go to Tallahassee.
No one's difficult, Steve. They wanna meet with you, they'll meet with you.
Yeah.
Okay, but no one's difficult. If they wanna meet with you, they'll meet with
Right, the problem is, they want to meet.
you. Well, so then sending an aid is sending you a message. Maybe you don't wanna meet.
So then what do you do to try and get him to meet?
Send them a
Same thing-
headline,
same thing we
so-and-so
did.
doesn't meet our votes.
When we went to Tallahassee last time, they said that, Jimmy Petronas wasn't gonna be with us. He finally met with us.
Yeah. He's a little bit- you
Huh?
can- Yeah, you can be consistent like that, especially when you're in person, but. You're right. So how do you get someone like that to get their attention?
Just-
Our
We didn't get our own house speaker attention.
I know.
Lived in our
Talked about
backyard,
that.
happened to be my son's neighbor.
Correct. And if you I remember watch the meeting as part of making this report, and everyone was talking about, oh, we got the House Speaker, Miami Lakes House Speaker, we're gonna get something done. Nothing was done.
But this is where the council has to step in, because we are advisory to the council,
Right.
and the council has to. Be the one to step in, so that if they say no, they're saying no to elected officials. Who represent their
30,000
constituents,
people.
Plus.
you know, so. If they don't care about the votes of the people in our area, that's fine.
Well,
I don't remember at election time.
election.
Right, agreed, but I guess the 100%. But that's the problem, most legislators in Florida don't care about the votes of our district, because it's not that important, right?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I get a lot of letters from them when the election time rolls around, so
That's a
hey,
good point.
they
That's a
must
good point.
spend, you know, they must care when they spend so much money.
Okay, that's a good point. Good point.
They don't exactly ignore us.
Right.
Which is what they would normally do if they didn't care about our votes.
I get it. Listen, that's, you're right, put more pressure on the council to try to get the attention of someone like that, like the Speaker of the House. Because if you actually got his attention, it makes the
Yeah.
job a lot easier. But
I heard people in another area went to their legislator's district office with buckets of dung and left it on the front doorstep.
Those Key Biscaynes or whatever.
It was
Because of the whole
someplace up
issue.
in northern Florida. That's it. Here, don't give us any more of these.
Yeah.
We're bringing it back to you.
How would you recommend that we make that impression?
I don't think we need to get there. I think that the legislators that we have now would listen to our town council and our mayor.
I mean, our local really, well,
They belong to the same party by and large.
correct.
So,
So what efforts can we start now to try to get, for example, the speaker's attention from the town council? Is like another thing we want to get approval from, and ask that the council or the mayor request meeting invite, I don't know, but request some sort of meeting directly from the mayor's office to the speaker about this issue, about the importance of it prior to the 2025 session. And that's something that the board needs to do, and we usually prepare the letter and then have the mayor approve it and sign it and send it out.
yes,
And then let the mayor be ignored or not. The CFO, we've done that with the mayor, sending letters to the CFO's office, the CFO has ignored us, right? They don't respond. Let's see if the speaker ignores it or not. And it's really.
but I think the attorney general would be impressed if the speaker of the house would send her a letter
Oh, yeah.
saying that he
right.
has no objection to this statute
I,
being overturned on the basis of its
You-
unconstitutionality.
right, you're putting down a good political roadmap on that. So the first step is what? Getting a meeting with the town and the speaker out,
Yes,
then let's work on that.
This may be a good time for Manny to do that.
Right,
Yeah,
Yes.
I don't know.
we just gotta get it in front of him.
So then,
Follow up on Lario's suggestion, I mean,
Yeah, no, I agree.
this is a good time.
It is a very good time. An opportune time. So, yeah, I mean, you want, you want to make a motion out of it so we can get that going?
Yeah, I moved that, the board, recommend to the mayor and the town council to reach out to the speaker of the house
I'll second the motion.
and,
how are
this,
we?
enlist his support
communicating?
for overturning the statute.
I don't. So we want, we've done it before. I don't remember if we had it approved in our report first. But if we want the mayor to send some sort of letter, is that something that we bring before the council, or is that something we just request from the mayor?
Let me talk to staff, and I will get back to you. But it's the board recommendation for mayor and council to reach out to speaker of that.
We gotta speak.
And you've previously done it, I'll.
Yes.
Yeah.
We've done it
We've done it
before.
before.
This is not new.
Yeah.
I'll send you. It's, I'm gonna send you the email now we did, so you can see, just so you can recall where it came from. It was a letter to Julie Jones at the CFO's office. I just don't remember how exactly the timing worked between the council reports or just the mayor.
Time.
Yeah, if there's something that we can just go through the mayor's office, don't necessarily need town council approval, that's better.
Yeah.
And then typically we would draft
This
it,
was last July.
yeah, we would draft it, and then then he'll review it if he has any change or not, if he usually trusts us and he doesn't. And then he sends it out, and then it's what the response is. Or, see, no.
You guys
response.
had it
Right.
sent via email and mail,
Yeah.
and it was 2 letters. One was for deputy CFO and the other one
Yeah.
was the other, you gave me like a whole list.
Yeah, we send it to Miss Jones, and then we copy it to everybody.
So from what I think you drafted something, sent it to me, and then the mayor just signed it. and we sent it
Correct.
out.
Yeah.
So
I just
that's
don't know if
okay.
it's like previously approved by the council.
Okay,
or it doesn't have
I'll
to
look
be.
into it,
Uh,
but I guess I'll follow up with you in case for whoever,
Yeah,
for the specific letter, right?
I don't think it was.
It wasn't.
I think the mayor.
It was approved by the council, the mayor's.
Yeah.
He's John Hancock.
Correct.
You brought it to the meeting, it was motion that it was approved after some changes, and then she sent it to the
She
mayor's
sent it to the
office, he
mayor.
approved it, and then by the following meeting, it was already done.
Correct.
And in this case, you might wanna CC Tom.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah,
I think it was CC last time too.
yeah,
no?
no, we
Yeah.
CC'd the whole time.
Well, it's a different region,
Everybody.
but we're doing this. versus
Right.
the other.
No, I know, but I'm saying it was a part of last time's process too, so I'm sure it's.
I mean, we typically CC on anything intergovernmental.
So one of you is gonna send.
Yeah, somebody, I don't know, somebody will send it to you. It won't be from you. Did we vote on that?
No,
No.
Yeah.
Still for discussion. Any more discussion? Any further discussion?
And I just wanna be clear, so the letter, so you guys, whoever's gonna send me the letter, along with the list of whoever you want to send to.
It was motion and second, roll call.
Motion, yep. You have a second?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
I hate it.
who's preparing the letter? Did I miss that?
No, you guys haven't said it.
I already wanted her.
I will, I can prepare some bullet points, and they could put the meat on it. The rest I could, give them the skeleton.
Who
No,
is
they're not,
the-
Dave's not gonna do anything. We draft the letter,
Oh, yeah?
we draft the whole thing,
Yeah,
as
well,
long as it's reasonable, we'll sign.
Okay. All right.
I mean, make it that something that you believe he would be comfortable with
Right.
signing.
I like to
But
keep
yeah.
things short and simple,
Sure, it's concise,
That's
it's
okay.
good, yeah.
to the point.
And he should be fine with it. So yeah, no, nobody's from his office is drafting those, he.
we want to meet with you, Dan.
All right, great, so
And I want to reach out.
what you
I
can,
want to reach out.
what you can do is prepare it, when you prepare it, send it to Idle.
That's why I was, send it to me, whatever.
She can then send it out to everybody if anyone has comments, and then send it to
List.
Yeah, the list of people.
I'll, when you have a chance, please, send me everyone's email. So
From the
that
committee?
I can CC everyone at the same time.
I'll
I
go-
don't do it.
I'll
You send it
send-
to her, she sends
Yeah.
it to all of us.
Oh, okay.
Just to avoid a sunshine violation. But I'm happy to forward you their emails anyway, because that is public record and you're welcome to have it.
So IO is gonna get back to us on on the next steps to follow to ensure that we do it appropriately.
For now, if you want, because I don't want to stall you guys, just send me the letter, send me the list whenever you have it ready, and then we'll go from there. For any reason you can't, I'll let you know.
Okay,
But unless you don't hear from me saying no, then we're just going for it.
okay,
Right,
okay.
I
Then perfect.
get the letter done, I think,
That's
we're-
how you did it last time.
yeah, I think you're right, the mayor, you know.
He just signed it.
signed
Yeah.
So I don't think we're gonna need any special approval or anything, so get the letter done, let's get it out. Think about.
It'll be a letter from the mayor to the speaker of the house.
Yeah, from the speaker. And then CC, obviously, rep producer's office, Senator Avila. I would CC Senator Commissioner Garcia. And I don't know who else. I think those are the important ones to make sure they're aware of what's going on. And if, you know, anybody else that you guys think. Yeah, hopefully he responds. Yeah, you're right, listen, I've always been clear, if people don't respond, like the CFO's office. It's the light of day, a few meetings in there. Nothing significant.
Under the Miami-Dade County Citizens Bill of Rights. It is a violation for an elected official
Not to respond.
not to respond.
Okay.
They could be written up for a complaint with the Inspector General's office.
No. Put the brush for it. That's it.
Especially when it's a letter from an elected official.
From another one.
Coming from an elected
Yeah, listen, I would hope that, something comes out of it. And 100%, that's the best way to get any legislation that's proposed, regardless of what it is. That's the best way to get it pushed, or actually have some momentum.
Are we giving it like a deadline or something for expectation?
I mean, I guess you want to have it done by at least a lot next meeting, so
Yeah.
then you can make any changes then, get it through.
Let's see if we can, maybe we can get it out. I'll get it out by next week.
And then if you send it to, I'll share with all of
Yeah,
us, and then we
correct.
can provide our feedback
Our
from
feedback.
now, so that by the time next meeting comes around, it can be done.
I believe last time the way she did it is you sent everybody a letter. You had suggestions, no suggestions.
Mhm.
I think you incorporated if there were, and the letter was sent out. I don't remember it coming back to the next
You're
meeting.
right, so we can amend the motion, if I may,
Right.
Go
to
ahead.
give you approval
Mhm.
to take the feedback from the board. And use that feedback as you deem appropriate and prepare the final version to then send to I.
Excellent.
So I make it a friendly amendment to the motion, you know, second.
That would expedite matters.
That's how we did it last time. We didn't waste coming back here.
Right,
You're
right.
The key is to get it approved now by the board and give that member that authority, so then there's no sunshine. Right, because it's not gonna be brought back before the board.
I'll second it. I'll second your one, 1 second. Yeah, man. All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, that's a.
Expedite.
We've been doing things, expedite things, so things don't come back to us, so then we put.
You go up in the 60, 90 days, like.
Yeah.
You don't want that.
Any other ideas on 2025?
Yeah, moving on, bad website matters in documents.
Yeah, I asked, I was on just, I think we should add a link to our opinion onto onto our website.
The one you guys
website.
provided
The
to
one is-
council?
Yeah. And then I asked that you guys take a look at some of the text. I think some of the text on the website's a little outdated. And it might maybe just get some stuff removed, like.
I think we had
I think
agreed that
we-
you guys were going to let us know
Right,
what's updated.
okay.
I'll take.
But
care of
I
that.
think we had agreed to delete all of it and start from scratch.
Yeah.
And
The-
there's
the-
still old stuff on there?
No, the documents are, the link to videos and documents look good other than adding the opinion.
Okay.
It's after that, it's like information, it's stuff from like 2020.
This new website always confuses me. Where's the section for our,
I guess that's a lasting.
here, it's right here, guys, right in front of my face, and it's blind.
So under resources, I think.
Yeah, it's the blasting concerns, like
So
all
the
that,
lasting concerns down, just delete it
I would delete it and, you know, somebody.
and leave the
take
related documents.
Yeah, all the documents and
Related
links
documents are the ones
work.
you guys put together.
All the documents and links.
Even
work.
previous, even from the inception, the document should remain. If you
No,
start
they had
deleting
voted on-
Historical information. Well,
No.
some would be
It's not
out.
deleting, but, we
You
want.
guys wanted
deleted
to, you didn't wanna overwhelm me, you wanted to leave what was
Yeah.
relevant for people to know.
And what we did was substitute it. So there used to be like 5 attachments that all conveyed the same message.
I've
So
gone to the
instead,
website.
we put one consolidated thing. That was voted on, I mean, like months.
Yeah, a
Yes.
couple months ago. So I'm just deleting blasting concerns stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think we need to agree on some language that talks about, still talks about some of what's talked about in there, especially how to file a complaint, but this, for example, doesn't talk about the Miami-Dade pilot program at all, right? So it needs to be updated. This is pre-pilot program language, which is important, but outdated. And more concise. We're trying to have things be very straightforward. That's why there's these split flyers and things like that.
Has the town ever reached out to the blasting companies to ask why they think that 552.36 should not be
I don't think so.
ruled?
I don't know either, actually. I think the town's never, the blasting companies just don't, I guess they responded to us a few times in writing.
No, I think it would be interesting to ask them.
Yeah.
And then when they don't respond, include that in the lawsuit.
Yeah.
They had no objection to the lawsuit.
Maybe they'll, now that they listen, they listen, now that they heard that, they'll probably respond.
Well, then we want them to respond.
Correct, we do want responses,
We,
you're right.
we don't want to be unfair to them.
We do, and we've been very fair to them,
Yes,
and everything we try to do has been fair to them, and they, let's just say, it's not. The responses haven't been significant, and those responses helps when we're talking to legislators, that we're, you know, educating the issue.
Yeah.
That's a good idea, yeah, I mean, you guys should be trying to write them letters every month, you know?
no, the town council should do
Or
that,
the council.
or the town attorney, I would say.
Yeah, whoever the town staff or council believes is appropriate, yeah, I agree. I agree. Good idea,
So they can't say that they weren't consulted.
I like that.
Yeah.
It's true, I like that.
Sorry, just going back to the website so that we don't squirrel. What if we utilize the same information that's on the detailed presentation to replace some of these pre-pilot program?
Actually, the presentation should be added as well.
Right, it does need to be added, but I'm saying in this section here with the blasting
Yeah, that's the
concerns,
problem.
and all of
That's
this
what's
outdated stuff.
Mhm.
I could replace it with the content that was previously approved from the presentation.
Yeah, I mean, whatever makes sense, it just should be easy to read and concise.
Right,
And informative and links where links need
Right.
to go,
okay,
that's all. I think I just know it's outdated and it's very wordy.
yeah,
I don't think, you know, wordy works, at least on a website.
Yeah.
We can link things to wordy, like link to the opinion, link to this report,
right.
but don't have it on the cover page. So just take a look at that. And, yeah, I would motion for you to provide the board with an updated, I guess, homepage, however you want to call it, language for that, for the website,
Okay.
for the web page.
For our next meeting.
Yeah, at least snapshot the template.
Yeah.
I'll second that. Motion. Motion put myself for those people. Otherwise, it's- Anybody else? Anybody put in discussion? Anybody want something? Yes, sir, man. Nobody else? All in favor? Happy? Alright. Passes.
Question. These three things, they have.
Getting to new business.
Or
So we'll discuss the, provisions, or as we just meant.
Yes, we discussed that.
We just discussed it in the, about it. Or similar situation, the wild, bad document, okay?
Yeah,
Because I think it's all,
so I have.
all of my minutes of everybody from way from the beginning.
So I'm gonna ask Miguel for
Yeah,
more,
yeah.
but I just have a folder full of stuff,
All of,
minutes, everything, so I just need to pass that folder to somebody. So I'll send you a link to the folder,
Yeah,
the link will expire, and then, I don't know, do whatever you want with the link, share it with the next secretary or whatever. It's just a lot of documents, a lot of
Okay.
things.
Oh,
I'll add, that reminds me, because I added it to the folder. I spoke with Alexandra from the Laker on Friday.
Yeah.
Briefly, she's doing an article about the lawsuit and potential and then what happened at the council meeting. I actually sent her some old articles, which I think you might find very interesting, from 2000 and I think 2002, of the bills being passed. One of them wasn't very informative. The second one was from the Miami New Times, and it was in 2002. They tried to get the Dover proceeding and it didn't make it. It died, but it has a lot of details about some of the interviews. Some interviews with legislators about people opposing it, for it, and then in 2003 is when it passed.
Maybe you wanna share some of those documents also. Like, I mean, he is a member of the board, bless you.
No, I just found them on Friday.
No, no, but I'm just saying.
No, I know, I mean, I'm happy to just send the link to everybody, I have all your
Of
emails,
course.
I'll send you all the link to the OneDrive. It's just my OneDrive link, take it, download everything,
Reed Rojas is around and all that.
but for your historical knowledge with some of the stuff
Yes,
that you're
That
tasked to
would be
do,
nice.
I think you'll find it interesting.
It'd probably enhance.
Maybe, I mean, I found it as an interesting read, which is now 20 years later, reading that, I'm like, oh man. It was right there in front of everybody. So I'll make sure to send that to you. I'll send you those individually and then,
Yeah.
but I'll send everybody a link to the OneDrive. It's just I have this link with a bunch of documents and I think everyone should have it.
That was a very slick sleight of hand that they dealt on.
Yeah.
Very slick.
And in 2002 is like an amendment. Someone tried to make an amendment to some completely
You
separate
have to
bill,
regulate them.
okay? And then 20.
Reed Rojas, all the people. All that.
Ross was one of the names in the
You have to
article,
congratulate.
but he was opposed to it. He was opposed to it, but yes, exactly.
Reed Rojas.
Eddie was involved. Not that he was for it, but all these people were discussing it. Yes, and it's a powerful industry.
Anything else on that?
That's it. I'll share the
They're
link.
not more powerful than the insurance industry.
Correct, and we've discussed that. They're
And
not,
if they want the insurance industry to put the bill.
and we talked about that, and we talked about that at the meeting with attorneys. I don't know how you get the insurance industry involved at all. But it's certainly an industry that would not want to continue to be trying to flip the bill on this issue, so.
No, no, shit.
And it would be interesting to see, it wasn't that large of an amount. The third DCA case from last year that found the insurance company liable for the blasting damage, it's like $65,000. But it'd be very interesting to see if that insurance company filed a subrogation claim. And I don't know where that subrogation claim would go. Would it go through DOA or is that just a civil action?
I think it's a civil act.
I think it's a civil action.
Civil act.
But maybe it's something we should try to look
Mark
into.
Nation, Mark Nation.
Yeah, I don't know who takes those type of claims. It wasn't that large. I don't know.
Is it Morgan and Morgan?
I don't know if somebody would actually take, I don't know much about subrogation claims. Usually I see them in like hundreds, millions of dollars, 100,000 claims.
Yeah.
I don't think somebody would take the work for that claim. That would be interesting.
I would,
Because that would make them at least have to pay something. I don't think that that's enough.
imagine a statute requiring the blasters to carry a minimum insurance.
Well, they have a bond.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bond is not
Not the same.
$30,000. Not the same. You're right. That's
We're talking
another.
about insurance.
Agreed. That's
With an
another-
expedited claims process.
Now that would, so if you read what people were saying about the bill in '02, oh, it's gonna make it easier for the homeowners. And obviously it's not, and it's complete opposite, so the blasting, lightning protection bill. But it's interesting, the way it read, and it failed.
And you know, we shouldn't say the mining protection, it's the blasting defendants. This bill doesn't affect
You're right,
the other companies in the rest of the state of Florida,
correct.
so they don't have a dog in this fight.
Yeah.
It's strictly that one company who's causing the damage. And I don't think that their colleagues in the rest of the state would care
I know.
to,
So back when we had invited the industry to come and meet with us, one mine did accept the invitation. Falcon, right? Vulcan.
Vulcan.
Did accept the invitation because we talked about them a lot, how their numbers show that they're mining responsibly,
But then they pulled back,
They pulled back to
But
the
they pulled
game.
back.
So I don't know, because,
They pulled back.
and CMEX is not so much my rights issue, but CMEX is having issues as well. Especially based on the data, CMEX is blasting just as strong as White Rock. But that's the way, that's what's going on. So, yeah. But that's it, the documents, I'll send you the articles separately so you have them, but I'll send a link to everybody and everyone, take a look. But I guess the purpose of putting it on the agenda is somebody needs to save it somewhere.
Let's save it.
Don't just let the documents flow, and somebody who, maybe whoever becomes the next secretary should take that and continue to pile the documents on, and then that folder can continue to be shared as long as, hopefully not that long, but as long as it's there.
Board needs to stay alive.
I mean, it needs to stay alive, and the goal for the end of the board is to
Right.
not have to board anymore.
Right, we need to keep it alive until we get something done.
If we were saying last time without in the whole sunset issue, we would be brought up.
Right.
Else.
gotta be sunsetted as soon as possible.
Getting to the next things and so forth. Before we go to C, I want to have a discussion of moving to D. On the municipal workshop, and we'll get to, we'll end it with C. Is that still being proposed, or is that being, is that with all the municipalities? I think it is. But I wasn't sure.
I mean, we discussed it a little bit.
I think Brian brought it up.
Yeah, I mean, no, Brian brought it up, and
Yeah.
and trust me, he's going to push for it.
He does push for it.
He's going to have the town want to do it, whether or not other municipalities want to get involved is another question. I think, right, so,
Yeah.
I also sent the email that says the town wanted us to discuss this about cost. I don't know what costs. There's town cost, I guess, to have something.
It
in
was,
Cambridge.
I sent it to him to make sure it was.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'll send it to me, it was from,
Because I come from
who was it
politics,
from again?
so,
Marisol, she wanted to make sure that you guys were discussing. Give me a sec.
I mean, it
Okay,
came,
so
Go
this is like, I step back. Council member Morita created a motion to direct staff to work with Blasting Advisory Board to plan and present a proposal for a multi-municipal workshop and provide an estimate of costs for such as workshop as suggested under item 5 on page 6 of the Blasting Advisory Board report. Councilmember Dieguez seconded the motion passed unanimously. Please ensure we discuss it at the next EAB meeting and work on any potential costs to report back.
yeah, because I guess they're gonna want to try to approve the final resolution next meeting. I mean, you guys let me know, my idea was to, if there are any municipalities that want to be involved, then we should have some sort of workshop that allows multiple people in the same councils and sunshine to speak.
Some that.
Uh,
I didn't get that.
And,
Okay.
I don't know what cost it would be, I would assume we would host it here
Right,
in town chambers, so staff costs, I guess, if there are any. But I'm not aware of any, what
IT,
costs,
I guess
IT,
that's all I-
yeah, IT to,
Just when you had the blasting forum.
yeah.
Yeah.
When we had the blasting forum in town hall,
Yeah.
same way,
The
something
same.
similar.
same sentence.
Yeah,
So the costs associated with the blasting forum, remember we had it open and that was a pretty full house, maybe that's a good projection to start at cost.
yeah, I agree.
That's your point.
Well, that's, That was pretty.
Right, we had people there.
That's
People there, that's the
It
whole.
was put on Zoom, with
Yes.
IT.
Right.
Exactly.
People got out, because in this case, it would be the municipalities
The
engaging.
municipality.
Right.
Correct. That's the idea I have. Of course, we need people, municipalities to actually commit. That's another question. That's something for the council and the mayor's office to push those municipalities to commit. And you know, and that's it. And I agree with your focus on, you know, telling, hey, council, mayor, this is what you need to do.
Well, they have to do it because they're the elected officials. It's elected officials to elected officials.
Right. No,
So
it
that's
should
the
be stronger.
That's
It should
the
be
posture
stronger.
you should take.
100%. 100%. But other than, you're right, other than that type of cost, I'm not really sure what cost it would be, but I guess it's up to the town to tell us.
At least that's the starting point now.
IT, and I don't know if there is any.
And the setup
Yeah,
and the cleaning. And
Right.
we had to pay for the piano chairs.
you're right, I remember.
So we adjourn to Flanagan's.
Almost. Last one. See, well, they should remember recruitments for the board and our resignation of our two fellow members, Angelo and Stephen.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
Also, the campaign, how's everything going?
We're not gonna speak about
We
that,
do
but.
that
yeah.
after the.
But just
adjourn.
this will be my last meeting, at least for now.
Yeah.
Angela, I assume will be your last meeting as well.
Yep.
So, I just Angela's been on this board for longer than I think anyone out here. Other than, you know.
You have
last
to
time.
debate me.
Yeah,
I think you've been
Yes.
the longest.
but, yeah. You've done good stuff with the board. Very good.
Absolutely.
I've been
All of
here
you,
to
both of you.
at least,
Incredible.
make sure we have quorum.
Yeah,
Yes,
you're a good member.
very important.
And you went to that.
Yeah.
No, you're a good member, and one of my favorite things about you is you ask, a lot of times you say, what are we doing? What have we done? And that's an important question to ask.
Very important question.
It's a really important question to ask, even from, you know, the board members and stuff.
I don't know if this is done, but I move that we give the two outgoing members a letter of appreciation for the time and services that they've devoted to the board.
That would be real nice, because that's never been done.
That's-
Yeah, that was very
that's
nice.
Very good. Motion, I'm gonna motion that. Motion from Eladio. For letters of appreciation for outgoing members, Stephen. And Stephen Hersberg and Angelo Quadra.
I second that.
Second.
Very nice gesture.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Yes. Done.
And then again, keep in mind, anyone that you think,
For
Could be a
recruitment
good
purposes, yeah.
somebody in construction, I think would be
Yeah.
good at, architect, contractor.
Yeah.
I don't know, somebody who has some knowledge and history in construction. Engineer might make the most sense.
Engineer, yeah.
But that would be key. That would be a really good ad. But of course, if you add somebody, make sure they're willing to commit.
To the time, yeah.
Because you don't want to have issues with quorum. Remember when I first got on, we had those issues, but we had, I think, 12 people.
We had 12, 14 people.
14 people. And then it slowly went down to more committed group. It's not.
Okay,
Adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
So-
Second.
Motion to adjourn, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I have a question though.